partners. Welcome on back. Can y'all hear me out there? I hope not having any problem like yesterday. I don't know. We'll get this intro done, though, because we got things happening. Maybe Jett's going to return from the land of the Hoopa Jews. We'll find out. Yep. All right, take it away, Kevin.
I don't know where that is either, Jett. I think we have to make it up now, though. So,
then it'll become canon.
Hello, everybody who has tuned in to watch us, and hello to everybody in the future who is watching us on Twitch and YouTube, because those numbers have gotten quite large in the last week. So thank you in advance for watching us that you haven't actually done yet. Other than that, welcome to Deadlands, everybody. It's a night. It's a Tuesday night. I almost forgot what night of the week it was. Some of us have just had over half of us have just been through a federal election in the nation of our choice yesterday. It changed nothing, but some of us didn't get much sleep for various reasons. So we will continue on as though that didn't happen, because that's exactly what we're going to do as a nation. So while I get everybody caught up on what happened, I would like all of you to take 3 chips from the pile, please, and put those on your sheet. And there's 2 other chips going out in a minute, but we'll get to that when I get to that part of the explanation.
Do I still get those even though I wasn't here last week? I wouldn't think.
You didn't get them last week, but you get them this week.
Oh, look at that.
See how that worked? Yeah.
I do.
You didn't get them last week, but you get them this week. All right. So while they do that, last week, I like to keep these short and sweet. Last week, Alice discovered 3D moving pictures, but doesn't care, because she also found out just enough about Baptiste Saint-Laurent to need to have a conversation with him just before he bolted and left town on her.
Just
so
like
she's a little frustrated, but about to be famous. Ellie met Daniel Clark, which was a slightly shocking experience because he was pretending to be Dan Comfort at the time. So unfortunately, Miss Ellie is meeting a lot of people that aren't what they seem to be lately, and going to a lot of alternate dimensions that didn't exist in her doubting mind just a few days ago. Lucius got in a slap fight with a zombie. Yeah, he discovered how to burn chips in this game, and having discovered how to do so, he did so with great rapidity. And just they flung about the place, and 5 of them in like 5 rounds. It was quite impressive. He managed to not take any damage because of that. He also managed to go 5 rounds without doing a damn bit of damage to the zombie in a punch fight, only to be saved by a single shot from Miss Alice from across the graveyard.
You're very welcome.
Whereupon Lucius suffered what can only be called a massive lore dump. And with the assistance of Miss Ellie, and please, both of you can have, I'm just going to show everybody this. And both of you can have one of these. That is a legend chip. That is what you get for incredible role play. And that scene last week with the 2 of you, with Lucius breaking down and Miss Ellie comforting him, congratulations, well done. You guys have earned the first ones of those in the game. As I said earlier, when we were off stream, you can't use those in game. So no, Lucius, stop. You cannot use it to stop wounds. But you can use it between games as 5 points of bounty, which will buy you quite a skill. So there's that. Baptiste went off to keep an eye on the undead doctor because he does not trust her. And Jett is escorting said undead doctor because his, still not quite sure what to call this person. Let's just call him his Raven for now, has asked that he bring this undead doctor to her because she can fix what the doctor needs fixing, which she told Jett, and I believe only Jett, is that she wants to become unharrowed. She wants the Manitou out of her, but she would prefer not to die in the process. And that's why she's been not killing people. This is why she's been experimenting on the dead in paradise for decades. So anybody that didn't see last week, that's what you missed. You should go back and watch that immediately. From there, let's just get back down our rabbit hole, back to our little lone poison paradise. And we're going to start by the side of the road. Jett. It's black. All you can see is 1,000 silver stars. And in the bottom corner of your vision, some green ones. You start looking around, and this night sky you're looking at, it's got pattern, like leather. Oh shit, you're looking at the inside of your hat. You wake up, and just as you're reaching for that hat, it's pulled away from your face. And Baptiste is looking down at you. And he says, what does she do to you, son? You do a quick check, you're fine, physically.
Nothing that I know of is, where? And I look around, where am I? Why am I?
You are literally lying in a ditch on the side of the road. It looks like you, from the position you're in, it looks for all the world like you crawled down here yourself and arranged yourself for a nap, laying on your back with your hat over your face.
Do I remember doing that?
You do not. Baptiste looks at you and sees the shock and the surprise in your face, and he looks around, and your horse is right there, standing on the side of the road eating grass. The doc and her horse are gone. There they went. He looks down at you and he says, what do you remember? You start to concentrate. It takes a while to put this together because a couple things. It was like watching two storm fronts meet. When Raven came out of the trees and the doc got down off her horse. There were no words, just expressions of power. But I can't do those, so I have to translate this into English. The gist of it. Raven asked the Manitou inside the doctor, why don't you just leave? You can do what she wants. You can give her life back. Just go. And the one inside the doc sounds much harsher and raunchier and more physical. Raven's got this sort of etherealness to her, this sort of not quite there-ness. This is the exact opposite of that. And this voice, you can, again, it's not a voice, it's a feeling. This is a Manitou. This is a spirit of the world. But the impression that it gives back is, I won't give this up. Eating, feeling, touching, sex, it's fucking amazing, and I'm not giving it up, ever. And if I did, I sure as hell wouldn't give her life back. And at that point, there's no translation to what happened at that point. It's like a cold front and a hot front. They started going around each other in this argument, this constant argument, the same things over and over. I won't leave, just go. I won't leave, just go. And around, and it turns into a literal tornado. And at this point, it's really difficult because where you are in this place with these two spirits, there's no time, there's no past or future. There's no this happened before that. There's no cause and effect. There's just this storm as these two spirits fight. You watch the tornado drift away from you, realizing that either one of them on their own could wipe you out by accident. That's when you thought it would be a very good idea to just lay down and have a nap.
All right. And with that, man, I don't even know how to put that in words to Mr. Baptiste.
Baptiste is looking down at you.
Nor do I even know if I want to. I just look up and I guess I stand up at this point.
He reaches out a hand to help you up.
I'll
Do you
take
take
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Take it.
As he pulls you up, that stole that he wears, that purple stole with the little gold crosses on it, kind of brushes against the back of your hand. And I mean, it doesn't burn or anything, but it feels dirty.
And at that, I just kind of stand up and I say, as far as I recall, I took the doctor to a friend of mine who said she could help fix her, make sure she was all right, and also not hurting anybody. And when they got to work, I decided to stand back and let it happen. After that, I don't really know much else.
You know what she was.
I do.
I'm mighty interested in finding out a little bit more about this friend of yours.
I'm sure. I don't know much myself.
But for now, which way did the lady go? And he throws back his duster, exposing the two guns, one silver, one gold. Have you seen them? Out? You saw one out on the table. They've got names.
I don't remember. I think I saw Sir.
I believe you saw yeah.
I think I saw
don't think any. Yeah, and I don't think anybody's seen the other two, but his two main pistols, you can tell it's part of a multi-piece set and they're all named.
First of all, do I know which way they went? Because I fell asleep in the middle of all this.
You saw this tornado, for lack of a better phrase, this spirit tornado. You look now, and the trees in that direction are untouched. There was no physical damage. It wasn't in this world. It was in that other weird world, that place where Ellie came with you last time. And you look, and you could point out a direction to him. It's like it's into the trees. It's not down the road.
And I just turn and I say, I know you're not a man to be trifled with, but I don't know where they went as far as on this plane. They're somewhere completely other, somewhere different. General directions I don't think would even be of use to you. I don't even know how to get there other than when I close my eyes. And that's where you found me.
And he nods at you, and you look at his haggard face, and he coughs a big tuberculotic cough. You might be surprised, son. Just point. I saw that face. Give me a scrutinize.
Wow, that popped.
Not bad. With that roll, you know exactly that he knows more than he's letting on. He knows more about Harrowed than he's let you know before.
do I know from that roll what his intentions are? Because that's where that really is boiling down to. Because I don't know if I want to tell him where they are, depending on what his plan is.
Wow, this is tough because I have to make a decision for Ryan now. Okay, no, I don't. He spins the two pistols around so that you're looking at the butt plates on them. One of them says retribution, and the other one says something like blessing. Forgiveness, that's it, thank you. Forgiveness and retribution. And he looks at you, says, I trust you. You decide.
On the gun?
On the words, son.
And it's not even, it's just like forgiveness every time.
And he nods to you like you made the right choice. And he spins them back around and very firmly shoves them back down into the holsters and makes quite a show of doing up the duster over them. And he looks at you and he says, all right, son. All right. I'll be back in paradise before you know it. You take care of them people.
Of course.
His accent's fading fast here, please. Oh, this is bad. Ryan, I'm so sorry. He worked so hard on that accent and I'm killing it.
It's a sign that he needs to come back and do it.
Yes, next week. He's coming back next week and I will steal it better.
I don't know much about you, Mr. Baptiste. I don't know your business, or you seem to like helping people, but I'm in the business of saving people, so bear that in mind. And
as you say that, you think without even his knowledge, his hand drifts up and starts to touch that stole. Forgiveness is kind of my job. Or at least it was. Which way?
And at this point, just because it's just, there's no point not, and I'll say somewhere, and I'm not going to point exact because I don't feel like it. I'm just going to give about a 40, just an angle of somewhere in there. Just like they went some way off that way. It was hard to tell. I'm not lying, but I'm not being precise.
Yeah. He nods at you, doffs his hat, and says, I made you a promise, son, and I'm a lot of things, but liar ain't one of them. And he kicks his horse and heads off into the trees and in exactly the right direction.
Yep.
You look up and your horse is eating grass. The sun's shining.
Oh.
In the distance, back from where paradise was. You look, and on the horizon, a cloud of smoke and steam starts to rise. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the warm-up, I blew up part of paradise last week too. I forgot that. Another part.
That was a little bit of a big deal.
Yeah, I kind of forgot the ending.
As soon as I see that, it's just like hellfire, and I just hop on my horse and I'm
on that horse and gone. And maybe it's because of what happened just now. Maybe it's because, who knows? You're flying. You are covering ground. You're almost back in that in-between place. And you know you rode for at least half a day, but you know you're going to be back in a matter of minutes. Because narrative necessity. Meanwhile, back in paradise, said explosion. You guys were at the cemetery, the three of you. Lucius just having forced his way out of the mausoleum full of dead bodies that were dancing by themselves last night after having a slap fight with a zombie and then being saved by Miss Alice shooting this zombie in the back and causing it to fold over and bend in front of you. You then had an emotional breakdown moment where you explained how you have tried to make up for the fact that you felt useless for most of your adult life. And then at this wonderful, touching moment, Miss Ellie helped you back to your feet, having put you back together for the time being. And then you looked, and paradise blew up again. And you guys raced back into town.
Yeah. I know we're in this intense moment, but every time I learn something new about Baptiste, my heart constricts a little bit. I'm like, I'm so close. I'm just so close to figuring it out.
Poor Ryan is going to spend a lot of next week talking to Miss Alice, going, shit, go away.
Yeah, right? He's going to be like, leave me alone. Alice, leave me alone.
You're going to wreck my story, young lady.
The mercantile's okay. Oh,
So yes, you guys burst out of the trees into town. If I remember correctly, Miss Alice, you caring not for people, you headed for your horse to make sure Fancy is okay.
I did do that.
Damn the locals.
Yeah, maybe I was checking on the stable girl. You don't know.
Yeah, what's her name? Yeah, it was the horse. I thought so. Meanwhile, Miss Ellie and Lucius, being slightly more civically minded, charged boldly forth towards this tower of steam, smoke, and fire. And you guys can see where you are on the map as we speak. Oh, I forgot to
Trying to help anybody.
head this way.
Remember correctly.
Look, all I'm saying is if all the horses die, it's going to be a lot harder to get in and out of this town, okay? That's all I'm saying.
As you guys burst out of the trees, I mean, it took some time. You had to run almost half a mile. Lucius, we decided you left your cart back at the cemetery.
Yeah.
As you get back to town, the steam element of this is starting to blow away. Like it was a one-time event. Whatever caused this steam all happened at once, and now it's drifting away on the wind. Oh, speaking of the wind, one more thing I forgot to mention from last week. The ghost mine at the top of the hill is apparently on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Two of you, yeah. A lot of stuff happened last week.
Well,
So
we
even
were
I
talking about
forgot
that, but
it.
then the town
wrote
exploded.
it and I forgot it. So
Well, the town exploded, so it seemed a little more...
So you guys came back down here to
Yeah.
deal with this.
I'm detecting a pattern here. Every time there's an explosion in town, it's because they don't want you to go up the mountain because something's happening in the mountain.
I was just gonna say.
There's a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
Also,
Probably
it
a
seems like there's
diversion.
always two things that you want to do immediately, at least.
At least two. It's like the DM had a plan. Weird that way.
Hate this guy. I don't. I love
So, Jett's making faces.
I have a small question.
Sure. Tearing back towards town at high speed. What is your small question?
Why does the lake say mechanical soldier sighting?
Because
I was wondering that too,
that's
but
supposed to be
I was like...
on a different page, but I apparently just moved it over to this page.
Yeah, because you
So we'll
switched
just
it
put
and
that
the
back
explosion
there, so it
area
goes
was...
away.
Spoilers.
The funny part is that's not actually this story.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, okay. Cryptic foreshadow. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay. There is no large sign in the lake that says mechanical soldier sighting. Neither
Like
is there a large X in the middle of the same lake.
Alice would have been like, well, that's new.
Here's the truth. It's not here. It's not where the explosion happened.
Oh, God.
This grayed out shape is where the explosion happened. As you guys get closer and the steam lifts and blows away, you can see that it was primarily about 2.5 buildings that were really wiped out as the two of you approach.
Okay, so I guess me And if I remember, Ellie, we're both like looking for anyone that needs help, basically at this point.
Yep. As
Yeah.
you guys charge into that area, you do meet a number of people staggering out. A couple of them have got minor burns from the steam. Like they were closer to whatever caused this burst of steam, and they've got some minor burning. One of them even has a little bit of blistering on her face, but it's not too bad. They are, however, holding their ears as they come out from the sound of the explosion. And one of them's got a little bit of burning on the shoulder of her cloak or her dress.
Anyone that's like severely hurt, I will try to use any medicine that I can to help.
Yeah, there's nobody who's like I said, just a little bit like a
Right.
bad sunburn more than anything else. But you guys, as you start to sort of, they come out towards you. You hear them talking amongst themselves, and you hear one of them say to the other, "It was huge, and it shot smoke and fire." Oh, and the other one says, "It swore. Did you hear it? It said it was the devil itself."
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Oh boy.
Another one walks past, just shaking her head, going, "It was huge. It was huge. It was taller than the buildings."
My pistol comes out immediately.
The area inside that black area is still, the buildings in there are raised. They are flush with the ground and they are on fire. The remains.
As the people pass by, I'm just gonna yell at the nearest one, just be like, "Is anybody else still in there?"
I don't think so. There was a couple seconds when we heard the noise and everybody just ran.
I think in the meantime, try to get the fire out. If you can, gather up some water or anything. We'll go investigate and double check, I suppose.
They kind of nod at you and just continue to walk away like they're going home.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't have anything to do with this. They're going home.
I gotta interrupt
You
for
do
just a
see a
second.
couple of them head toward the doctor's office.
One quick interruption. So sorry. There's a sound of like something rubbing against a mic. Lucius seems to be when you move. Does your headphone set have a mic attached to it on the cord?
I don't think so.
Because if that's possibly the input, but there's a sound kind of whenever you move, sort of scratch.
Yep, it's definitely that cord.
Hold on.
So just make sure your mic input on Zoom is. Oh, I think he's headphones off. Make sure your mic input on Zoom is your correct external mic. It's not rubbing on something.
Nothing wrong with my microphone. Default microphone has changed to microphone high definition audio device and will not be used. Weird. Okay.
Okay, so check in Zoom. Next to the
Okay.
mute button, there's
Sure.
the menu that lets you choose your mic and make sure that's set to your correct one.
Okay.
Sorry, folks. Quick technical difficulties. Want to
problem.
make sure we give you the best sonic experience possible.
Absolutely. And while he's doing that, there's something I forgot to ask you guys to do before. I did a thing over the week. If you can go into just above the chat window, there's the settings on the far right hand side, and then next to that, there's the three little bullet points. It's the macros. If you can open up that, it's called collection. If you open that up and look at that humongous list of macros in there, there will be a bunch with your names on them. If you can just check those boxes and make sure that macro quick bar is open at the bottom of the screen, I have turned all the combat into one button push. So none of this having to go from page to page to click stuff anymore. You now press the button that says Alice Rifle, and it rolls the attack roll, it rolls the damage, and it rolls the hit location all at once.
I don't have any macros with my name next to them. Personally.
There should be, maybe I have to put them in there.
Yeah,
There
I
should be
don't-
Jett Pistol, Jett Rifle, and Jett Shotgun 3 ranges.
Mm-mm.
No?
Yeah, I don't have him either. Because I was
In
trying
the
to look for him
macros?
earlier and I didn't see it.
I don't see anything.
Okay. Miss Alice, did you just have one pop up called Alice Rifle?
Let me click out of it and back into it.
I don't think so. That just put it on from mine. That's very weird. Okay, never mind. We'll fix it. We'll fix
Does
it.
that sound still there?
That
Move
seems
around
to
a
have
little
fixed it.
Move around a little bit.
Seems better.
Do a little wiggle. Do a little shimmy.
What kind of shimmy?
Shimmy,
Like,
just shimmy, just like a.
There you go.
think
We seem to
you're
have
good.
fixed it.
I think we're good.
You're good.
Yeah, I think
Good
it's
job.
good.
All right, back in
All
the
right. And forget
Hey,
that thing
listen,
about the macros.
listen.
I thought
Through these technical difficulties, you get to learn stuff if you're
That's right.
paying attention.
Anyway, we'll do that later. All right. So, yeah, the two of you are being, the people are rushing past. Miss Alice, because of the way you're going, you run past the doctor's office and you see a couple of these slightly injured people pulling on the door, but the door is locked.
Which door are they?
The door to the doctor's office.
Oh. I'm gonna keep running, but I'm gonna say, the doctor is gone. That's really of no use to you. And I'm gonna just
Looking surprised at you as you past in your nice little boots with your dress
Yeah.
and your bustle waving in the wind.
I mean, I feel like I conveyed what I needed to convey.
Yep. And you get where you're going, and as usual, even your horse is better behaved than the lower class of horses. She's in her stall waiting to be rescued. The other ones are freaking out and kicking the walls and trying to break out. She has complete trust in you. You walk into the end of the stable, and she just sort of looks over the fence at you.
I will try to save the other ones. I'm gonna be like, fancy. Yes, girl. Yes. And then I'm gonna try to calm the other ones down and get them out of the immediate. I'm gonna try imitating the stable girl that one time
Mm-hmm.
when
Sure.
she was like, "Hey, no."
Yeah, give me an animal wrangling skill. That's exactly what this is.
Okay. Good thing I put a point into that. I'm just kidding. I didn't put a point into that. So it's my mine is 2. It's 2d10. So I do a d10, right, and then -4.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Odd. All right, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm just clicking on it. Whoa!
I figured out my issue.
So it's a
Okay.
6.
That's a 6. What you realize, animal wrangling wise, is that if you want to talk horse and you want to talk calm horse, you should probably start with a calm horse. So you go and let Fancy out and
Yeah.
lead her from stall to stall. And like the two of you walk up to the stall, and the other horses, I mean, they speak horse. They like, you're calm, she's calm, okay. And you work your way down the line, and they calm down. Are you letting them out at all? I mean, there's no immediate danger of fire.
If there's
here. That's
if
across
there's
the road.
no immediate danger to the stables themselves, then no.
No, they were panicking mostly because of the smoke and the
This-
steam. The steam
yeah.
completely covered this area. It has blown away now, but because
Yeah.
you're slightly downwind, there is this bit of burning building smell from across the street. Plus, yelling and screaming and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, once I get them all calmed down, I'll look around and see if there's any carrots or apples or anything, and go give each one of them whatever I can find.
You treats all around,
Yep.
and you don't know what horse is for I like this human, but you're pretty sure that you recognize the look on their faces because they're like, apples. Yeah, this one has apples. This is a good one. This one has
Well, they were so nice and they calmed
Yeah.
down. And it was,
You're
you
getting
know.
nuzzled by multiple horses.
Yeah.
Fancy's starting to look jealous. You know
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
Alice is a popular girl.
Sarah is a horse person, so
Yeah.
Sarah knows how it works.
Well, you'll know more than me then.
Yeah, so like I'll do that, and then make sure they all have some hay and some water,
Yeah,
and
and
then
you start taking care of them.
Yeah.
And in behind you, you hear thump, 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 and you turn around. Then there's Genevieve standing there from across the street.
Oh yes,
Thank
the
you.
blacksmith. Good.
Thank you. I was coming over to calm them.
Where is the girl that usually works here? Have you seen her?
I do not know. I think she has run away. Give me a scrutinize.
Fair. 7.
You don't know about whether she's. I'm assuming you were trying to figure out whether she was lying when she said the girl ran away. You had that look on your face?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, because
This is me
at this
asking for
point,
roles
everybody
based
in
on
this
facial
town,
expressions.
well, everybody in this town seems so like, well, this, you know, it's Friday, clearly, you know,
Yeah,
like,
people died today.
Yeah.
So you can't tell whether she's lying about the young lady in question or not, but what you can tell is that her left hand is quite badly burnt. It's quite badly scalded, as if by steam.
oh no. I'm gonna say, yeah, well, I was worried about Fancy, of course. Of course, she, you know, she was calm, so she helped calm the other horses down. I gave them some treats, checked the water and the hay, that sort of thing. I know the basics. And then I'm gonna pointedly look at her hand, and I'm gonna say, "Did you get hurt in the explosion?"
It was rather close to my forge. Yes, I had one hand out the window and I heard the bang.
How many bangs?
There was one large one, and then a moment later there was a sort of whooshing, and that is when the steam happened.
So, did you see anything unusual?
No, I did not.
So, you didn't have anything to do with it? And then we're going into the stair now.
Yeah,
also,
give me another
I
scrutinize.
feel I should not worse.
Plus
yeah.
2, so that's another 7. She's hiding something. You don't know what it is or what it's about, but she's hiding something.
I'll take a step towards her, ever so
And
menacingly.
she's just tiny. She's like 5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
But you remember quite clearly her walking around with massive weight in her arms and swinging a 12-pound sledge with one hand. So
don't care. Still taking a step toward her.
Mm-hmm. And she does not back off. She just looks up at you.
And I'll say, there have been some strange goings on in this town. And while I may not be of your immediate concern, if that priest comes back into town and you've been hiding something, I don't think you're going to want to deal with him if you've had something to do with this.
And she kind of grins at you, nods. That may be true, eh? That may be true. Or maybe that priest has never met a Cajun, eh? The accents, now that you listen close, the French accent is artificially posh. She's put it on. She actually talk a lot more like Guy.
I was about to say. Okay. So, I'm gonna just kind of keep, you know, I'm gonna say, well, you still didn't answer my question directly. Did you have anything to do with this, directly or indirectly?
I most certainly did not, no.
But you didn't see anything. You just heard a bang and a whoosh.
And then my hand, it was burned, yes.
I'm gonna try to grab her hand to take a closer look at it. Not the top of it, but like from beneath. Like, because if it's burnt on the like top, I would try to grab it like from
underneath, like the wrist.
Yeah, my intention is not to hurt her. I just want.
Yep. You reach out and grab her by her wrist and go to pull the hand closer to you, and you move closer to her. Like, she does not move at all. You pull yourself in, essentially. You have a good look at the back of her hand. It's bad. Like, it's multiple layers of blisters deep.
So she had to be real close.
Do you have medicine?
I have psychology, not
Okay, that won't
no.
help. Give me a medicine check. So whatever your, I mean, you got a pretty good knowledge. So give me 1d knowledge minus 4.
Okay. So it's. Is that, do I do the keep one, keep all? Or
Keep
just
one. We're only rolling one dice, so it doesn't really matter. And I figured out what I did with those macros, and I'll fix them at halftime.
Yeah, boy. So that's a 5.
It's a 5. Okay. Well, it's a 5 minus 4 actually, but yeah,
Yes.
it's a bad burn.
Okay.
It is, and yes, you would be absolutely correct in thinking this wasn't like you do the math in your head where she says she was. It seems like she's burned worse than that, but only on the one hand.
And nothing else. Does she look fine? Like everywhere else, like nothing on her face. No. Does she
The
have
rest
any-
of her got maybe enough steam to knock the creases out of her shirt, maybe.
Well, that's just a free iron and a press. That ain't.
Yeah.
That's. All right. So I'm gonna say.
And
This is-
very good question. And for that, we're going to pretend you did better on that last roll. This is a contact burn.
So
This
she had to be.
touched. This isn't steam burn. This touched a hot surface.
I'm gonna point that out. I'm gonna say, there's no way that you could have been as far away from that as you said you were. This burn, I know it had to hurt because I know that you had to have touched something that was hot.
And she pulls her hand back away from you. And I mean, you could try and resist, but it's like trying to resist a train, right? It's just
I've
your
gotten the
hand's just
information
gone.
that I
And she's holding it up like this, and you can see it now. It's burnt quite badly on the back. And now that you look, it's clearly a contact burn. And she says, I must have fallen against the anvil or against the forge. She's lying through her teeth. The accent's gone too. Yeah, it's back to sounding like ghee. I didn't do it there, but yeah.
Not as fancy as you pretend to be, are you?
She opens her mouth to say something to you and then just raises an eyebrow. Yeah,
Allison-
secrets, ma'am.
Is she putting the posh back on?
Yeah.
And Alice says, well, if anyone knows fancy, it's me.
And she looks at your horse.
Yeah, and I don't just mean my horse.
Sorry, you put that right there.
I know.
could not
I
walk
was
past
waiting on
that.
That was kind of a eyebrow wiggle, like, yeah.
Yeah. And she's sort of like kind of covering it up with her other hand.
And Alice is going to say, I know you're lying, darling.
Everyone lies, eh?
Especially in this forsaken town.
Welcome to paradise is not such a nice thing to say to someone here, eh?
And another thing, I'm real curious about how your hand is the only thing burned.
You're just going to have to stay curious, eh?
Not for long, darling. And she'll like pet Fancy, kind of give her a brush, and then walk out of the stables, never breaking eye contact with Genevieve.
And she's tracking you the whole way. Like this is just this force of will, right?
Yeah.
Force of wills. And just before you leave, she says, you are very good with the horses. If you ever want that job, mucking out my stables.
Darling, the only thing I'm going to muck out is the truth. And then I'm going to turn around and leave.
And you head out, and you hear her behind you calming the horses and herself, essentially. So back to the other two of you, standing on this burned out, blasted out area. The locals have all pretty much left the area now. There are another group of people coming in. This is like the emergency response team in this town. They're just dead calm. It's all the healthy adults. Everybody's got a bucket. They're all going to the lake, filling up the bucket, throwing the bucket on the fire. Just like this happened. Like you said, it's Friday. It must be a fire.
What are some of the buildings that were hit?
Most of what was hit in this area is were homes. There is some damage to the back of the doctor's office. In fact, there's a root cellar entrance, those sort of angled doors that go down underneath houses.
Yeah.
There's a set of those, and they've been kind of blown in by the blast. Other than that, there's 2 houses on the corner that are destroyed in that region, and another house that's been about halfway knocked down, and then the back of this other large L-shaped house where the back wall's been pushed in.
The ones that are destroyed, that's probably where the explosion came from. What type of buildings were those?
Those ones were mostly houses. But give me a scrutinize check while you look around. Same thing with Lucius.
Gonna do a tinkering check.
Tinker. What are you going to tink?
It's more like for engineering and stuff.
Okay, trying to reconstruct what happened. Sure.
No.
Scrutinize?
Yep. Yeah, you're just basically looking over the situation. Okay, that's a good roll. Ellie, you realize something very quickly. 2 things, and they're both weird. One of these things is that this fire that's been shot over everything stuck to what it hit. We would call it napalm, but that's not how fire works. Like, you spray fire and it burns, but this, like, it's jelly and it's stuck and it burned on the surface. It does remind you a bit, because you have seen one of these, of the flamethrower that the one bad guy had up at the fight. You didn't get in a fight with him, but Sam, please sit still. Your noise is back. But yeah, you realize, first of all, that so something shot this fire on these buildings. It didn't blow up. Something came over here and burned them. The second thing you notice is that some of these places, this wood has been cut, as if by a rapidly spinning toothed blade, like we would call a chainsaw. But there's those 2 kinds of damage. Well, this makes sense. Outside, out in the street, Lucius, you're looking around, and this whole area, this steam didn't just go up. You can tell, and that's a really good roll, you can tell it was controlled jets of steam fired from something about 6 inches off the ground. It looks like it was designed to wipe out footprints or tracks of its own passing. But it wasn't perfect, because around one little corner, there's one little stump of a house left. Just the inside of a bedroom and a little smoking teddy bear sitting in the corner. Just on the outside of that, there's an oval imprint in the ground. It's about 2 feet from end to end and about a foot from side to side. There's just a little bit of another one, just a hint of an outline of another one beside it. You can tell from the impression, this is a footprint.
So it was designed
huge footprint
to hide footprints, basically. Yeah, that's interesting.
So whatever did this, the 2 of you, if you confer,
we'll trade.
It's got a chainsaw. It shoots fire. It's got huge feet, and it shoots steam to cover its own passing.
So
when you say huge footprints, how big is huge?
This single footprint is a little over 2 feet long and a little over 1 foot wide. It also doesn't look like a foot, like it's got no toes. This looks like a metal-clad shoe, almost like armor, like wood.
I mean, Lucius, I don't know about you, but there's only one thing I've ever seen in my life that's this big and shoots fire.
Was it that guy with the flamethrower? If I remember correctly.
Well, that Baphomet guy, he sucked up a whole bunch of souls. Maybe he got the idea from it. They were saying they saw some sort of thing that looked like a devil. How many devils are running around this area?
So he basically just suited himself up and after.
Personally, I didn't like our encounter with him before he had flamethrowers, chainsaws, and armor.
I think we're gonna need help before we go any further.
And as if summoned by your wish, you hear the sounds of hoof prints in the distance. And into town, amidst a flurry of dust and confusion, rides Jett all alone.
Speak of the devil.
Skid to a stop in the
Jett.
middle of the street. Jett, the steam's blown away in the length of time it took you to get here. There's these burning buildings. These people are just calmly throwing fire on them. 2 members of your posse are hanging out in this devastated area, searching around and looking confused. Miss Alice is nowhere to be seen. Your horse
I
just
should
caught
say
up with you.
Alice would have headed back to the doctor's office
Yep.
to
To the doctor's. Perfect. Okay.
It should be noted, Jett.
because that's where the people were. So she.
Yep.
You know.
It should be noted, Jett, that I'm looking very disheveled and clothes kind of ripped up. Just
Would you say
his
disheveled?
his whole belly is is out. He's literally disheveled, which means improperly clothed. Yeah. So he's usually so shoveled, you know.
He's shoveled and shoveled.
Would I have seen, because this is going to be like a big
Yep.
decision on what I'm doing, would I have noticed the fire on the mountain by now, or would I not have?
On the way here, yeah. Let's just make this easy. Yes, you did. It's not
Okay.
huge. Like it's not like a billowing smoke coming out of it, but there is this wisp of ghost rock smoke coming out of the mountain.
So as soon as I ride up, I'm gonna do a quick once over and just like make sure they look all right, and I'll see that he's. I'm gonna assume that I can tell that Lucius is like shaken up, but he's not hurt.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna say,
He looks like the world's worst exotic dancer right now, basically.
I'm gonna say, where's Alice? What happened?
probably checking on her horse.
Yeah, she did look like she was heading towards the stable. She didn't say anything, but
But she's okay.
she's
More than
probably the most
likely.
okay person here right now.
I think about that time when she just shot the zombie. More than likely.
All right.
Are you okay? What happened
Yeah.
with the doctor?
That's a long story, and it looks like there's a lot going on here. So
Yeah, we'll save that for another time.
As
Is there-
he says that, he adjusts his hat, like just subconsciously, and you guys see that lovely. I don't want to use forelock because that's got sort of this Hitlerian attachment to it, but this lock of hair that comes across his forehead, there's a strip of it that's gone white.
All right, I'm just gonna worry about that later. We don't have
Yeah,
time.
there's too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
Is
Jett,
there-
you wouldn't even have noticed. Like you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's sweaty, and you just adjust your hat to catch your hair and pull it all
just
back underneath,
throw
like
my
you do,
hair.
right? Yeah.
Just look at
And I
Ellie
told
like
2 friends,
no,
and they
no,
told 2
no,
friends.
I'm not dealing with this.
Either should just share a look immediately and just kind of like for another time.
Yeah.
later.
So is there a threat here? What's happening? Because
It looks like the villagers have mostly gotten the fire taken care of, although they were saying something about a massive devil person attacking, which I can't imagine, or at least I hope there's not more than one of those running around.
all right. Well, y'all can stay here, but it sounds like I need to go back up that mountain real quick.
I think we
Need
should stick
another gun?
together.
I'll take as many guns as want to come.
Sure, and I'll just I'll extend my hand as if, could you help me up on your horse?
Yeah, and I'll pull her up.
I'll go find Miss Ellis, and we'll probably regroup with you up there.
Yeah, you head around the corner. Quickly jump to Miss Alice. You get to. I should not read chat while I'm trying to talk. You get to the doctor's office, and from the side that you're on, you can't see the damage at the back. This door is locked from the outside, and the people that were there have kind of walked away.
What kind of locked how? Like,
it's just like you could push. I mean, it's got a keyhole, and somebody has turned the key in the lock when they left.
Is it a wooden door?
Yep, with glass window panes in it and everything.
Can dang it, I don't want to be unladylike, but I
God
kind of want to try to kick the door open.
Mm-hmm. Let me just make sure here.
Let me
Let me get rid of all the people. I need to get all the things off this map that I need to get off this map before I put you there. Just like that. There's Miss Alice all by herself on the map. Boom. Just like that. And our camera is there as well. So the rest of you guys may not be able to see the map right now because you're not there. It might be just black for you guys, but I remembered to put the camera on so our producer and therefore our audience can actually see what Alice can see right now. Yeah, it's easy. You get inside.
Okay.
Yeah, not a problem.
Good.
Just sort of use your elbow to one glass and reach in and just unlock the door from the inside and step in.
Good.
You can see what you can see there. This is her surgery / office. It is spotlessly clean in here. Her appointment book is on the table. The place where she's done the work, where people were sitting around, is all perfectly clean. Make a nature check for me.
As soon as I can find it, I would love to do that.
Or have I asked you for something that doesn't exist? I
You
probably
may
asked you for
have.
something that doesn't exist.
Lucius, do me a favor and just mute your mic if you're not speaking. We'll figure it out at the break.
Yeah, let's do survival.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
makes more sense.
On the sheet.
That actually exists on the sheet.
It does exist on the sheet.
This
but
is why I shouldn't play multiple different systems in the same.
I gotta
week.
do the keep one and then it'll be -4 because I don't have survival.
Absolutely.
So that's
-2.
negative.
Yeah.
-2. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you look around and there's, I mean, like I said, her address book is there. If you would like, you can go in through the other rooms to the north here. These are just.
I do want to do that.
I'll move you and I'll move our camera as well. So basically, these two here are the her surgeries, the places where she sees patients and that sort of thing. The room in between is just a closet. This room back here is her personal office or her personal house. And it's unbelievably simple. There's a couple of chairs in this room, but there's dust on 2 of them. There's only one that's ever sat in. There's no fire, has been in that fireplace for ages and ages. And those 2 rooms just to the south, this one directly south of you is her bedroom. The other one in the corner, you open it up and it's like a closet, but there's a dummy in it. Like a human anatomy dummy, but it's all like full of straw and shit. And it's got like muscle groups marked on it.
Is that the only thing in the closet?
Make a scrutinize check.
Okay. I would love to do that. Man, I'm struggling with finding these buttons today. There we go. Got it. That's a 7.
A 7. You sort of look around and you look down and see some of the straws falling out of it. But there's a trap door under it.
Yeah. I'm gonna move it. Skeleton's moving.
Yeah, so you grab this thing, drag it out into the main room, and there's this trap door. Just got a little ring in it. You're just supposed to grab it and pull up.
Well, actually, I don't trust this doctor, and there's a trapdoor hidden under a skeleton. So I'm actually gonna tie some rope to it.
Okay. Yeah.
And pull it from Yep.
You do this. The second that sort of seal breaks between the door and the floor, the smell hits. It is awful. It's rotten, dead bodies. Fresh. Couple days at the most.
This is where our bodies went. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is pull a handkerchief out of my bag and affix it over my face.
I get that. I am, however, afraid to tell you, you have no perfume to put on that because you shattered that perfume bottle to stab that nice man in the throat.
I haven't replaced that yet.
No, you have not. So you have a very nice lace.
Jett's face.
Yeah. He saw that right down the barrel of his rifle too. Wow, that's Miss Alice.
yeah. It's fine.
So yes, you have a very nice hanky tied over the bottom half of your face.
Yes. Okay. And then I guess is there any light source down there, or is it just dark?
It's pitch black down there.
All
There
right.
is a lantern on the table up here.
Okay. Well, I have some matches and stuff, so I'm taking this lady's lantern.
Yep. And I'm gonna put you down here as you look down the stairs.
Oh boy.
Camera down here. Yeah, you found the bodies, all right. This room, there's cells along the western wall, all of which have at least 2 or 3 skeletons in them in various states of decomposition. The very northernmost of those ones has an actual fairly fresh body, like a day or two ago. And there's 2 more on the tables on the north side of this room. Underneath those 2 are magical runes carved into the table.
Okay, I should first things first.
Yeah.
Pissed,
this guy's
my
about
rifle's
to
coming
pee
out.
himself. He needs to tell me something.
The camera, I don't think, can see the map. It's black on stream.
Oh, it's there on my screen.
Yeah, evil. Yeah, no, I'm saying like at the.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There it is. Yeah, okay. Sorry, it was bottom half of the map. I should have told you.
No, I meant the
Yeah,
camera was
stand
there on my screen. Is what I
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally you wouldn't have to do this around dead bodies, but Alice is pulling her rifle out
Yeah,
just
you
to be
just-
on the safe side. Not normally.
Nobody's
thing you have to
looking.
do
There's a
around
little
dead
bit
bodies.
of there's a little bit of shaking going on.
Yeah. I know that I'm not going to know anything about those runes. So there's.
Well, you
4
don't need to know anything about the runes to notice this as you get closer. One thing, the bodies have been cut up. The runes that are cut into the table are full of dried blood. So somebody has drained the blood out of the bodies into these runes to fill them up, to try and make them magical. The other thing you notice about these 2 bodies is somebody's cut them up. They've tried various things. One of them's got all the organs taken out. The other one is shoved full of salt.
Okay, so what's on the so that's on these 2 tables to the north here, right? Okay.
Mhm.
I'm
That's
going
a man and a
to
woman in their 40s.
I'm gonna write down that symbol, like she's gonna jot down the
rune?
symbol,
Yep. Yep.
the rune. And then is there anything that looks heavy enough to break these tables? Break the runes? Just in the event that this is something that is worked?
Yes, I had to stop because my initial reaction was you could use the bones from the bodies in this, but no, that's
No.
not strong enough to break
No.
the table.
No.
The table to the south, the one with the book on it, which I should have mentioned earlier, there's a book on there with a bunch of writing in it. That table looks like you could probably break a leg off of it and then use it to break up the other 2 tables.
Okay. How big's the book? Is it big enough that I could?
It's sort of like it's a leather bound volume.
Kind of like does it look like a journal?
It's exactly what it looks like.
Okay.
There's bloody fingerprints and handwriting on it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wipe. Is the blood dried?
Yeah, it's been here at least a day, so yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna.
It's just
I'm
like
gonna,
when she put her hand down to make notes, there was blood on the fingertips where she was holding the page down.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm gonna wrap it in something, and I'm gonna take that. Taking it.
Yep.
I don't really have time to look
you
at it
see-
right now
yeah.
because, I know I got the thing up there in the back of my mind, top of the mountain.
Yep.
But I'm gonna
as
try
you're,
to
as you're
break
closing
these.
it, all you really have time to see is just the last page in huge letters. They're like 2 inches tall. It just says, "Damn it, damn it, damn it."
That sounds about right. Because basically, I know I have an inkling of what this. Alice has an inkling of what this is based on the very cryptic conversation that the sheriff and Baptiste had.
Yep.
And then Ellie mentioned a little bit of what her and Jett were talking about. So
Yeah. If this is just a case of the people with the information aren't in the scene, and the people in the scene don't have the information, so it's perfect.
yeah, it's great. So I'm breaking the tables because in the event that these runes have worked or will work at any point,
You sort of have to pull the bodies off, and it's pretty unladylike stuff, but you smash the tables up. The runes, when they break, there's a moment of sort of because when they break, they
The
start
blood.
to drip
Yeah.
because the blood on the surface is hardened, but the stuff underneath them, these runes are an inch thick in some places. So when you broke them, they drained out onto the floor. You're a scientific person. There was absolutely no reaction whatsoever or anything about the breaking of these runes which would make any reasonable person consider that anything remotely like magic had anything to do with this, just foolhardiness.
Yes, of course. I am, however, I'm eventually gonna tell Lucius to come down, that he needs to come get the bodies and do the proper blah 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 blah. But for now, I'm putting all. Can I find any keys for the?
In the desk drawer that you broke, the initial desk with the writing with the book on it.
Okay.
In a drawer there is keys for those 4 cells.
I'm locking all those other 2 bodies in one of the cells.
Well, you may not believe in magic, but I'll bet you Alice wishes she had prestidigitation right now, because there's schmutz all over her boots and the bottom of her dress and her hands, and maybe a little bit on your tongue. Yeah, that sort of. Oh, I can taste it. It smells so bad down here. I can taste it. Oh yeah,
I know.
This is the latest of many. This room has been used to dissect and experiment on hundreds of people.
Okay. Is that so is that pretty much everything in the room? Is there?
You take some time looking around, and that's
okay.
DM to player. That's all.
Okay. So I've locked those bodies up, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken the journal and I've destroyed the runes just in case. What does it look like the runes were carved with? Does it look like they were just scratched in?
No, anything but. They look, they're just carved with an unbelievably sharp knife, probably a scalpel.
Oh, yeah.
She's a doctor.
Okay. So it makes sense that they would be perfect, basically.
Yeah. And at this point, you were there for this. You flash back to that perfectly clean cut on Jeb's neck, too.
Yeah. So this is all making sense. Okay.
Yep. It should also make sense of the undead up at the graveyard too.
Yeah. Basically, Alice is now ready to get the fuck out of here.
Back up the stairs to the fresh air, back outside.
I imagine as I come up, I'm coughing from the smell because she was trying to hold her breath as long as at intervals, as long as she could.
And you get up into the office and you slam that door down and it still smells, and you get out of her little apartment and it still smells, and you're out in the actual office proper, and you step outside and it still smells, and you realize it's you. It's on your shoes, you stepped in it. Start scrubbing your really nice shoes, but who cares? Kind of using dirt on the street to scrub them a little bit, I'm assuming.
I'm gonna have to have somebody send me a new dress.
Yeah, because this one's you might get this one clean physically, but it's never going to be clean emotionally again.
Mm-mm. Okay.
As you stumble out into the street, you look down the road to see these three standing there. Jet still on his horse.
I
looking
mean,
down,
she's still
talking to the other
coughing
two.
the whole time. She's because
Yeah.
she's like running full speed, trying. She comes. She's just, oh my god, and just like takes the handkerchief and just throws it on the ground. Like, this is dead to me. Like, this is not.
And because there's such a fuss, I mean, I almost said a drama, but this isn't. There's no making this up. This is like real reaction.
Yeah.
But you guys look up and see Miss Alice, filth, like up to the ankles, kind of gross, red, nasty stuff, and she's coughing and kind of
just like trying to like
trying to get the smell out of her nose and the taste out of her mouth, and
how far am I from the mercantile?
I want to buy a new laugh. My laugh is awful, and I want a new one.
I would like an upgrade, please. So I'm just like coughing and like it. And like even if I see them, I'm gonna I will like try to flag them down, but I'm just most of my attention is on like coughing and trying anything to like shake this stuff off. Like, ugh.
Well, you've got a room back at the hotel, and I very distinctly remember making many jokes about Alice's amount of baggage. So I'm assuming that if you were to get back to the hotel, there's probably a change of clothing there for you.
Yeah, there is.
There might be some stuff come flying out the window into the street.
Yeah. This is getting burnt.
So you go right past them and head for the hotel?
No, I mean,
it's right there just across the street. So
I'm gonna kind of wave them down,
mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be like, just to let them know, like, 1 minute, I'm gonna go change, and then run up.
I don't have time to wait for that. Who do you think I am, Baptiste? I'm not.
But you'd be able to smell her, I assume.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys can see and smell. There's little bits of like vein and stuff wrapped over the top of one of her shoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up.
She doesn't know, but behind her, where the trail of her dress is behind her, that's sort of been dragging in the schmutz too. So there's this kind of trail up the road.
No.
So I guess you guys will go ahead and we'll catch up, I guess. I'm assuming.
Good.
And I'm going upstairs, and I'm literally pulling the first thing out of my closet that I find, and then putting it on and coming back downstairs.
I look at my clothes and go, I could probably use a change myself.
You people, and I'm just like,
what do you mean, you people?
So the two of you are on your horses. We've got Miss Ellie and Jett on one horse heading up the hill to look at the mine.
Us
The
two
other
without
two are
the
going
fancy
to get
clothes.
changed. What's that?
Us two without the fancy clothes.
Yes.
Honestly, if Alice didn't change, I would say that all of her like tries to do anything would have to be at penalties, because like.
Well, nope. Lucius, let's put it this way. You follow Miss Alice into the building and up the stairs, and you actually have to try not to slip. There's some stuff on the stairs because she's going at such a bore, and stuff's falling off of her. She gets to the top of the stairs and just bursts into her room. She is in such a rush, she does not close the door and just starts flinging.
And she's like not screaming, but like, ew.
It's touching. Because the only way to get it off, it's going to touch your shins, and just like
as a gentleman, I'm not going to
knife and cut it off.
As a gentleman, I'm not going to go to the door, but simply I'll just like be around the corner. Are you okay?
No.
Do you want me to close the door?
Oh, who cares?
You need anything right now?
No, we gotta go. There's
you
so
hear
many
splat
problems.
as something that she's just taken off hits the floor.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go get changed too. I don't have any other clothes but my work clothes, I guess. I'm thinking to myself. Technically speaking, I don't have time to buy a new suit. Shit. Okay. So I guess I'm getting my just my work uniform, like clothes.
So do you close her door on the way by?
Yeah, I do. Just like
Okay. Here's the real question. Do you peek?
no, absolutely not.
You, like a true gentleman, looks across the hall, reaches in and kind of,
Does
there's the
the
doorknob,
thing- yeah,
pulls
like
it
that.
I'm
shut.
closing the door.
Down the hall, and by work clothes, I'm assuming you mean like an overall, just like a one-piece sort of.
It's just like in the Mortician where they would have like more like they're not fancy. It's just something that like
Just so you just show up in
and an apron.
basic. Yeah.
So you're saying it's not a Grim Reaper cloak? Because that was what I was
We're not there yet, Jett.
Pulls out his scythe.
We're also not there yet.
Yeah, I haven't given him 2 hours to build that size yet.
Please don't kill the blacksmith. I still need her.
You still need a trip. So
You gonna
the
get
two of
herself
you are
killed.
getting changed. The other two are heading up the hills, and I just saw the time. This is a perfect moment. We've got 2 people behind closed doors and 2 people tearing up a hill at high speed. So let's take a quick sort of, 14-minute break to get us to the top of the hour. And then we will see what happens from there. And we will see if we ever get all 4 members of this party back in the same room at the same time.
Well, there's a fire on the mountain. Run, boys! Run! The devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in a bread fan, picking out dough. Charlie Daniels wrote that. People say I'm crazy. I don't know. Hey, Marty, you're getting off track. Yeah. Take a break. Few things before we go to break. We've got a few very special events coming up. The next one. I guess the next one will be the special Halloween show. Kevin got a quick preview of what's that? What are we doing?
Yeah, we are going to do my system, my very own whole invented system. It is designed to be as simple as is humanly possible to have a role-playing system be. But none of that matters because the premise of this story is that the characters will be internet psychics. It's up to them to tell us whether they're real or fake, but they are internet psychics who have been invited to do a reality TV show at a real haunted house on Halloween night. And that's all I'm saying.
So if you're looking for like a super adaptable universal RPG system, come check that out because it's going to be in the first public display of this thing.
It is. Yep.
The next thing we have after that on November 10th, we just got confirmed. We just scheduled another very, very special guest star. For those of you who joined us from the Wiggler Army, once again, thanks to you. And thank you to Joe Cat for joining us a couple weeks ago. Helped a lot more people find us. But we've got Dingo Doodles, another wonderful YouTube animator that we all love over here and are very honored to be hosting on our Sunday night show on November 10th. So be sure to show up for that. And then later in that week, we'll have episode 2 of Clockwork Dominion, which if you didn't catch the first episode of that, it was fantastic. Seeing Puck as a player really fall into a role is a totally different totally different way to see him. So be sure to tune in for all of that. Make sure you give us the follow. If you haven't yet, we do a giveaway every 100 followers. So the next one is at 831 new follows. So let your friends know. And we'll be back after this short break. And I hope we all had a good rest there, because it's about to get not very restful in lots of ways from the looks of it. Let's, I don't know. Let's play.
Oh, somebody get that man a security blanket. He sounds all frightened.
This is off-putting kind of day here, Marshal Kevin.
Well, I hate, I'm going to apologize because we're going to put you off some more here. Let's get back to this. Just before we went away, 2 of our posse were rushing bravely up the hill towards the smoking Ghost Rock Mountain, and the other 2 were getting changed because ick, and my belly was hanging out. So at least we know where everybody's priorities lie. Let's start
On not vomiting. That's where my priorities
Yes,
lie.
that's absolutely. Yeah, I understand that. It is difficult to shoot while you are throwing up on your own shoes. Charging up the hill, because we're just going to do this in order. The two of you, nothing's going to stop you on the way up the hill. I mean, it's quite a ride, but other than you've got some time, if you want to have a conversation or put together a plan or anything like that on the rush up the side of the mountain, go right ahead. The other two are going to be considerably behind you because even just getting out of one tuxedo and into another one is at least 10 minutes. And then you got to go get your horses. And so we're looking at least 15 minutes behind. So. And that's if he doesn't wait for Miss Alice.
And that's also I have to go to the graveyard and get my horse.
You do. So
you can
honestly,
ride on the back of Alice's.
Okay, I was just going to say we might get there at 3 different times, but
Well, that's exactly why I wanted to get changed. I'm sure she didn't want me like half naked on your horse.
I don't know that she wants you on her horse even fully clothed, but in those robes, dear, really. But anyway,
I don't have time to go
up the hill first. Our two brave people. Miss Ellie, it is impossible to ride a horse with another person without a significant amount of sort of person-to-person contact. So just to be clear, that is, especially as you are going up this hill, there's a fair amount of, like, you're going to have to hold on to him.
Yeah, no, she's.
I'll let you do with that what you will. Okay.
Her legs are fine. She's got her gun. She's with someone she trusts. She's good. She's she's not scared of touching generally. No. She's just
okay. Excellent. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
No, she's fine.
And you guys crest the top of the hill. Last time you were here, this whole side of the mountain blew out when the train came out. There was a huge, gaping, massive hole. The time you were here before that, Jett died. And the time you were here before that, it was just a little crack in the side of the mountain. So when you crest the hilltop this time, and you see ahead of you the 12-foot by 12-foot wooden frame that was there before the train came blowing out. These heavy wooden pillars holding it up. Small lantern hanging from the center at the top. No sign of railway tracks. No sign of explosions from the train coming out. And from up here, you're closer now. It's not thick smoke, but it's a steady smoke. It's not going to be enough to block your view inside, you don't think, because it's kind of hovering near the ceiling. But it's sort of the foot between the ceiling of the mine and, like, as it's coming out through that gap, it's all coming out through that top foot. And like I said, it's 12 by 12, so you've got sort of 11 feet of open air below the smoke, but it's coming out, up, and then being blown away by the wind.
And just to clarify, make sure I'm reading this right, you said it's coming out of the mine.
Oh, yes. Yeah. This is the smoke you saw from down into town. And it's ghost rock smoke, so it's sort of white, and you can hear from inside the mine that sound of ghost rock burning, which sounds like people screaming.
It's always something up here. I have half a mind to blow this place closed once and for all.
I mean, if it's still doing all this after a dead train came through, I'm not sure if that would actually help.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Miss Alice kept saying that ghost rock makes people do crazy things for some sort of chemical reason. Is that a magic thing?
And Jett just kind of looks over his shoulder. Like, I look over my shoulder and I'm just kind of like grinning a little bit. And then I remember this is a serious thing. So I'm like, yes, I believe it is. I believe there's something about it that just, I don't understand. But I don't know where Miss Alice comes up with this nonsense about it being poison or some other thing. You know, you've seen what I've seen. That ain't science.
Us breathing all this smoke, do you think it's going to cause something?
I don't think it's a good idea to do it for very long. I do believe that if you stay around this stuff too long in this state, I think it is probably not good for you. But
Well, let's try not to be here too long then.
yeah, I assume we have like handkerchiefs or like, you know,
Oh, sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna wrap that around my
same.
So-
face.
Where the just want to clarify this picture just a little more. If you remember, that rail line used to come up, and then there was the X at the end of it, made with the two railway ties, where you originally saw the guy tied up there. Those two ties are gone. It looks like something went through them, but the rails were destroyed by the passing of the train, so they're just sort of blown apart, part of this wreckage that goes down the hill. And then you turn around and there's this pristine entrance to the cave. You guys, I'm assuming, stopped as soon as you got to sort of line of sight of that cave entrance. So you're about 50 feet away, just as it comes up onto the flat, and you're still on horseback.
Mm-hmm.
Look down the hill behind you, because as soon as you step forward, you're not going to be able to see down that bank anymore. And way down at the bottom, you see a horse with a lantern just leaving town now, coming in your direction. Looks like it'll be, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes before they get up here.
Can we tell who it is? Like, do we recognize
I mean,
it?
you can't tell from this distance, but who else would be this brave / foolish?
Should we wait?
I shouldn't say a lantern. It's still daylight. You see a horse.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, one horse, two people. So at this distance. Okay, and the second one's wearing a top hat. So sure, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
So, I don't know how dire the situation is. What happened in town? I know I was in a hurry, but they seem to have it under control, and I assume anything that's going on down there is always from something, and I turn in there.
I'm not even rightly sure. As far as we can tell, we were just in the graveyard. Lucius had a thing with the zombie, long story. But we heard the explosion. We came by and people were coming out saying something about some giant devil, and we saw a massive footprint that looked to be wearing some sort of armor. There were scorch marks like what the one of the cultists had with the flamethrower thing, and some sort of blade, like a toothed blade. There's markings of all of that from where the blast seemed to be.
That's a hell of a lot. All right. Well, I don't have time to wait, I don't feel, but I'm not going to ask you to come in right behind me because I don't know.
Well, certainly not letting you do this by yourself.
All right, but just let's make sure that we're ready to leave if we need to.
I will not argue with that. I'm going to pull out my pistol first before we go in.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my dynamite tucked in my little pocket right there.
Because you haven't had enough of large explosions in confined spaces.
I'm just going to glance at the dynamite and be like, please don't blow me up or blow something up onto me. Or blow yourself up.
Kevin,
We've
I
had
just
bad
want to step
experiences
out for
with
a second.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. We'll see you in a bit.
He fell off the horse. But yeah, I'll be like, Miss Ellie, I assure you that is a last resort. I will make sure neither of us is in any kind of position before I'd consider such a thing.
I'd appreciate that.
And I've got it's still a 12 by 12, so I'll have my shotgun out for this going down in here.
So just to be perfectly clear, the two of you are not waiting. You're going in alone?
Yep, because I'm a damn fool.
Okay, I've got the other two on this map just so I don't have to put them on when we get there. But for now, it is just the two of you, and there is the map. You should be in the bottom left-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
I can see our camera's just got a tiny little bit of the edge, so he's going to have to go down and to the left.
Oh, it found us.
Yep, there
So
we are.
you guys are down here. Right beside you in the corner of this picture, you notice there's 2 torches and 2 lanterns. Grab those. Those are your light sources.
I'm gonna have
As you
my
guys head in,
lantern.
you will not have any light because this is a cave. So whichever one you're taking, and you can change the direction of the lantern. There's when you click on it, there's a little blue box around it, and there's a little arm that comes off, and you can change the direction on that.
That's cool. All right.
For those of our viewers at home wondering what the hell I'm talking about, you don't see what they see right now because you are seeing from the camera's point of view, so you get a more sort of complete view of what's going on. But these guys can only see, even with the lanterns, they can only see 40 feet ahead of themselves.
Interesting.
They do have the same line of sight restrictions as you do right now. So with that, you guys walk up, and again, this intact 12 by 12 frame all the way around the outside. Inside, there's a long central corridor fading away into the darkness ahead of you with passages off of both sides. On one side, there's only the one visible passage quite close to you. On the other side, you can see regular entrances cut in the rock. This looks like a fully built mine. And the smoke continues to drift out from the top.
Does it look like there's been any damage from when the train came through here?
There's no tracks on the floor where you guys saw railway tracks burned into the ground when the train came out. That's gone. There's no damage from where it blew out the wall of this mountain when it came out. There's no shrapnel anywhere. It looks like a worked out mine. Looks like it's been in operation for years.
Jett, no offense, but my life was a lot less complicated before I met you.
Hell, mine was complicated, but not this much. I don't even... This don't make a lick of sense. I don't know why. This was just a hole in the ground.
When you got blown up?
I would love to pretend like I have that kind of, peace of mind to be able to pay attention to stuff like that when I'm dealing with, dying.
Yeah.
When that happened to you, this was a single tunnel. This was when it was like a 6 foot by 6 foot, and it was just one rough hewn tunnel into the wall, into the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Not like this.
Yeah, this is completely different. And if we look, can we see where the smoke is coming from?
It's coming from straight ahead of you down this wide passage.
Mm-hmm.
It all seems to be radiating from the back of that. You can smell it from this close, and you can hear that sound of people screaming that is the sound of ghost rock burning. Make scrutinize checks for me before you even go inside. Just looking at the first couple feet of wall on each side. I'll stop punching my mic.
Oof.
We suck.
Yeah, it's dark in there, and there's a lot of passages, and the smoke is coming out. You don't hear or see anything beyond that from here.
All right. Well, I'm going to take the lead. I suppose I'm going to kind of straighten my ghost badge a little bit and just make sure I got that on before I go trudging on forward down this middle area. I don't fully understand the map here. Is it up here is the long corridor?
The big wide thing that you can see down?
Yes.
Like from where you are, let me hang on. I can do a thing where I can see what you can see. Yeah,
The way I'm pointing my
there
lamp.
you go. As you move forward, you can see straight ahead of you. There's this hallway about 15 feet wide going up and to the right.
Mhm.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
If you just take a. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you did. Okay. Yeah. So yes, there's all to your right. There's one hallway going into the darkness. This is clearly a mining tunnel. You can see where they followed a vein of ghost rock in there. The other side, as you're moving along, is peppered with entryways, and as you look in, they've only left enough to keep this from collapsing. Somebody has taken a tremendous amount of ore out of this mountain. And again, you get this impression of this being a worked out mine, which is the exact opposite of what it was 4 days ago when this all started.
Who has been up here?
Anna, you're muted.
Yeah, thanks. How is this even possible?
Hell if I know. But it's our problem now, just like it always is.
I had a friend who always said I got myself into trouble that wasn't my business, and I think she may be right.
You guys keep making your way down. As you get further and further in, the smell gets stronger, and the smoke starts to be thicker and thicker coming down from the ceiling. It's not down to you yet, but you find yourself sort of involuntarily crouching anyway, just to stay away from it. Jett, make a spirit check for me, please.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Faith. Yeah, give me a faith check.
Oh, never mind. I made it. Let me do that. I don't have any faith.
Actually, give me a spirit now that I look at it. Give me a spirit check.
All right. Well, that would be an 11 then.
That's more. Yeah. Okay. That works. There's no connection in here. There's no connection between you and Raven right now. Until this very second when you stepped in here, you didn't even realize it was there. But suddenly, it's like something's not there. And you realize by that lack that she has been accessible all this time, but not in here.
Oh, boy. All right. I'm a little concerned inside, but I didn't know I had her before I did, so it doesn't change how I'm going to go about it now.
So you guys keep moving in and keep moving in. You're at the point now where, let me just look. How far can you see? Still going ways. Okay, it's still going off into the darkness ahead of you. You're at the point now when you turn around and look back, the opening of the cave is a light square because it's still daylight outside, but there's darkness between you and that. You're that far in. And again, all along this left side, all these open passageways, all these places. You're looking now and you're starting to see, even in the pillars that are left, there's deposits of ghost rock ore. You know what it looks like now. It's kind of this white color, kind of chalky white. They've only left this here to keep the roof from falling in.
Is the smoke still coming from this main corridor?
It is from still ahead of you. One more scrutinize check each, please. Okay. Ellie, you realize the further in you go, the more ghost rock there is. This mountain is full. This whole mountain could burn.
I'll point that out to Jett.
Suddenly that dynamite feels very heavy in his pocket.
I just kind of like glance at it. And I'm just
At this moment outside, up the hill, skid to a stop. There's a horse just standing there in the middle of this field, and you can see sort of lantern play inside the cave. But the cave's not blown out like it was last time. The 12 by 12 frame is back. And like I said, you could see several lights inside just doing that bouncing around thing.
Alice, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you just got to the entrance here. So you have now look at the map in the bottom left-hand corner. You guys are right just outside. And there are two torches left. So if you guys want to grab those as your light source.
I have a lantern.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the
Bring
torch.
you a lantern.
I'll bring my lantern out.
There's a lantern for you.
With my oil at the ready. If it runs out.
So you light up your lantern and start to head in. Ahead of you, 50, 60 feet, you can see the outline of people, just the silhouettes, because their lanterns are pointed the other way into the smoke. And as again, you can see the further in you go, the thicker the smoke gets coming down from the ceiling.
Miss Alice.
You can smell it. It smells like crazy.
Is that our friends or? something else.
Make a scrutinize check for me. Don't roll poorly.
Oh God.
It's a 9 for me.
For a second, I thought it was a 3, and I was just about to say troll. But
Right?
no,
Yeah.
it's a
Thought you want to know.
Lucius troll.
Yeah.
Terrible monster in there. It's on fire. Ah! And then Lady
I've already
Alice grabs
changed my
you.
dress once today. Damn it.
Yeah. Do not poop on my dress. And she
I
grabs you
only
by the arm.
have-
It's them, you idiot.
I've only got a few. Okay.
So
Yeah.
from
I'm
outside, you hear, ah, you've only got a few, you idiot.
yeah. That's
Oh,
pretty much.
okay, good. We'll just catch up with them.
So yeah, we'll just grab you guys and pull you in here. Just go ahead and keep moving forward up and to the right until you catch them.
Yep.
Did Alice go in here? That's my big question.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's got her slumming clothes on.
not
Weapons
bad.
out or
pretty
not?
much.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing, Alice?
It is okay. So
This is not that kind of show.
what Alice has changed into is it's a deep like hunter green dress. It is still very fancy. It is more narrow cut. It's kind of pinched, like the fabric is pinched and kind of ruffles down the front. And it's got it looks like it has like 4 collars that come down the front, and it's buttoned, and it's long sleeve with ruffles, with fancy ruffles at the end that match the ruffles that are on the bottom of the dress. And hers specifically, which you wouldn't be able to see it with it like this, but hers specifically was designed with a strip of buttons down the side that she can unbutton and make into a full form dress.
Yeah, definitely slumming clothes.
But does it have pockets?
Yes, it does. Dresses in this, they're in the back.
She did, yeah.
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 Well, there was that huge bustle that they weren't doing anything with. Right?
Yeah.
So put
Yeah.
That
in
sounds
there.
way more practical than nowadays.
But it's not. But she doesn't have the buttons undone, so it's just a narrow line dress right now.
Right.
It's a beautiful dress.
Little
Not
easier to
quite
move
as
in.
not as fancy as her other one, but
Yeah. Still
so
slow.
nice.
I mean, definitely slow moving. But I just
Yes.
moved you guys in, so you're all sort of in one spot, sort of in the center
Yeah.
of this mine now.
Oh, good. We caught up.
Finished your guys' fashion show?
Darling, I was not about to go anywhere in that dress that was covered in guts and blood. You did not see what I saw. And she'll take out the doctor's journal and hand it to Jett, and she says, "This was that doctor's journal. I found it downstairs with a bunch of dead bodies. Lucius, you're probably going to want to fix that later and give them a proper burial. I found her journal down there. You can take a look at it later."
I was about to say, if you're trying to hand it to me, I'm gonna be like, I've got my gun in my hands. I'm like,
Can I just look at it later? Well, if you don't mind.
if you could grab it from her, because I'm not taking. I'm like, I already know everything I need to know about the
Lantern
With your
in one
permission.
hand, shotgun in the other.
With your
Yeah.
permission, Miss Alice, I'll just take the book for now, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
It's got blood on it.
Yeah. She hands you this filthy book.
Yeah.
I prefer to not dilly-dally, though. This place is full of ghost rocks, so I'd prefer to get in and get out.
To be fair, I just didn't want to be cold. I don't care at this point. I was very exposed.
So you guys continue your way further into the mine?
Yeah, I'm walking away. I don't need excuses.
I can just, I'll just move everybody here. I
Yep.
can just move everybody all
I'll
in one
follow.
lot. So
Yep. Just following.
yeah, you guys continue to move your way up this thing, and now it's becoming even more and more obvious. The further you get in, the more this place is made of ghost rock. It's solid ghost rock in places. The
So
weird
you-
part is the whole right side hasn't been touched. At least you've only seen the one entrance back where you came. The whole left side is honeycombed. And as you look into these gaps, you can see it goes for 50, 60, 70 feet in some directions with it
How-
mined out.
How did this happen? Wasn't it just a small little cave before?
None of this was here 4 days ago.
Exactly. This doesn't make sense. Can I do an occult check?
Apparently moving one of the walls with me. Yeah, go ahead. Put that wall back. There we go. Wait for that check. There it is. Man, you've been rolling poorly on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get any real extra information out of this other than it's not supernatural in nature, but having been from the West, I'll give you a crumb. You tried. I'll give you something. You're from the West Coast. When Ghost Rock was discovered there was no place where it was this dense. Ghost Rock is like harder than gold to find. It's a vein, maybe this big around that miners chase through a whole mountain to get 10 pounds of it. This is a mountain made of Ghost Rock. Nothing magical other than if Ghost Rock is magical, and that's a conversation you can have with Miss Alice and Jett.
So it's like as if it just came into this world, popped right up. Huh.
Yeah, it looks like it's been here for, it's a mine. It looks like a worked out mine.
Who in the world would have been in here doing this?
That's what we're walking to find out.
I mean, I haven't seen Mr. Campbell in town since the train.
I thought Mr. Campbell.
And
Yeah,
as you say that, you make your way to here. Because I love narration. I love narrative wonderfulness. A couple of things become obvious. In fact, I'm going to move you guys just a little bit further forward here. Pardon the moving walls. That's not
because they said they never found a body.
Nope, they did not.
Oh, it's anime rules.
God, I didn't like him when he wasn't undead.
I'm more concerned about all these blue and red things off the side.
I'm getting to those. I've just got to move this wall back where I stole it from.
It looks like fire, considering it's got light coming out from. Oh God!
I don't like that token. That's a creepy-looking token.
Real quick.
Isn't that an interesting token? So I'm going to start to the left. In that big room, you guys can all see off this area all this glowing stuff, this blue and red glowing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. I can see the map. So you guys should be able to see it. Let me just confirm.
I'm definitely taking I'm taking
all
my
the red glowing stuff.
Definitely take my shovel.
Everywhere where you look over to your left and you see those little red circles, those are stalagmites. Sorry, they're coming up off the ground, and they're on fire. Each one of them is burning slightly. Hanging above them, you can see here and there. They're represented here by these blue light tokens. Those are areas above where the smoke from the fire below is coming up and hitting the stalactite that's hanging from the ceiling and causing it to glow. It's not on fire yet, but it's like watching oil dripping from the top of an oven.
Yeesh.
But that's, and I love saying this, that's not the freaky part. The freaky part is right at the end of the hallway. No matter how far you come in here with the lanterns, you can't see, I know you can, but you can't see more than about 5 or 10 feet ahead of you. It's just murky, it's thick, it's smoke coming off of this rock wall that you're approaching. This must have been where the train came from. This is, out of all of you, Jett is probably the only one that knows this feeling. It's not quite of this world here. It's something like being in Raven's presence, but nowhere near as pleasant and as wonderful as nice. This is like being next to a very bad person's house. That just bad vibe coming off of this wall, along with this black light, the fire off to your left flickering in the darkness, the screaming of all this rock burning. And out of the wall ahead of you, barely recognizable, is, you know that scene Han Solo trapped in the carbon? That's Alan Campbell coming out of the wall. But it's not Alan. Well, it is, but it isn't. Because there's huge black horns coming off of his forehead and going back into the wall behind him. His face looks like that. The whole eye socket area is all black with these little tiny dots of white light shining out of this black wall. Those little white pinpoints of light are ghost rock, and they're burning, and there's smoke coming out of them. And below that, his mouth is wide open in a screaming rictus, that thing where he's trying to break through out of the wall, and out of that mouth is a continuous stream of smoke. Ghost rock smoke.
Any
Looks
symbols
for
on him?
all the world like he's screaming.
Is he a lot? Like, is
Well, he looks from this distance like he's made out of the rock. Like I said, like imagine the Han Solo and the carbon, right? If you felt like from this distance, it felt like if you went up and tapped him, he would be rock. But you can go up and tap him.
I don't really want to go near him.
well, here we go.
I'll tap him.
I'm gonna go by.
I'm probably gonna shoot him, but I'm not.
I'm gonna go by
tap him.
Jett and inspect him as well.
I'm trying to figure out. I can't get. Well, there's the square, I guess. Whatever.
Either way, you walk up. We don't need to. Oh, you're 7.5 feet away. You can't reach from there.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. You walk up, and you tell me. What do you do?
It's definitely gonna be that moment of you walk up and you kind of hold the lantern and it's just that like, Mr. Campbell, and just
Make a guts check for me.
and then I drop the lantern and everything explodes.
I know you were kidding, but damn.
You hold up the lantern and you lean in. Those two little points of ghost rock light look at you. And you roll me 4d6. You failed with a 1. Roll me 4d6, keep all.
All right. Now, is this doesn't have anything to do with the not tough as nails, but the thing where you don't run away?
I will take that into account, but you did roll a 1, so
Oh yeah, no, of course.
18. Okay, it looked at you. Like it turned, it's not its eye, or not its head, just its eyes turned and looked right at you from that far away. And yeah, you stumble back, you bump into Lucius, who's coming up behind you, and you drop the lantern. And it hits the ground and it breaks, and there's a brief flare of fire that comes up and reaches to just above your waist. And you kind of look down just in time to go, oh. Like that's where the fuse
I pat him out, try to like.
Well, he's not on fire. It's just
Okay.
it's flamed up right in front of him, and you wouldn't know that he had a stick of dynamite in his chest pocket anyway. But yeah, Jett, you look down just in time to see it burn up to just about that height, and you were on the brink of just turning and bolting. But you ran into Lucius. You had this moment of lucidity, like I'm packing a hit of dynamite here. You do get half spun to turn, and you see the three of them looking at you.
Speak to me, Jett.
Draw some strength from that, and don't. As the fire burns out of your lantern, making it slightly darker in here,
Throw that out of
you
here.
don't run.
What happened, Jett?
But you guys are looking at him, and he's just...
Okay, I'm going to try to inspect this thing.
Just push the shaking man out of the way. Let me look.
And
Give me a guts check.
Can I do a cult possibly afterwards?
No, give me a guts check first.
Yep, that's
I'll see if you can look at it long enough to try and figure out what it is.
Luckily, I'm pretty good at guts.
Yeah, okay.
You don't scare me.
You step up and shine the light on it, and you don't know what the problem is. It doesn't look at you.
Okay, I will attempt to do an occult check.
Okay.
Okay. Come on. And if it doesn't work, I might spend a white chip if I can.
It's only a 6, so you're not going to get much out of that.
Would a white chip increase that?
White chip, you get a reroll, so you would roll 1d12 by itself. Keep 1. If you did a red chip, you would roll 1d12 and add it to this. But I would get a red chip.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen like last time.
You don't want to give trapped in carbon bad guy a chip to use?
No. So I'm just gonna spend a white chip and roll
so go ahead and
d12.
roll 1d12, keep 1 because it doesn't matter.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, you just rolled a d12. So
yeah, sorry.
Well, plus many, so it doesn't matter. What you very quickly determine is very similar to what you found before. This isn't magic in the traditional sense of the word. This isn't huckstering. This isn't this natural magic. This is the ghost rock itself is doing something.
Metamorphosis, maybe?
Miss Alice and Ellie, what are you guys doing? Sorry, Miss Alice and Miss Ellie, I shouldn't be rude. I'm not a classist, unlike somebody in this room.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful, okay?
Well, that's not why I hate you.
I'm going to kind of go up to Jett and kind of like wave my hand in front of his face and just be like, "You still with us?" You're muted.
I was just asking, am I like? That's a DM question.
You tell me. This is your character. This thing in the wall just looked at you 6 seconds ago. Are you okay?
I mean, I'm pretty good at shaking that stuff off, but I rolled a 1, so like. But I mean,
so at that moment, I mean, never let the roll tell you what to do. What's happening now?
I had that moment, and it was more, honestly, to me, it was more scary because in that moment I was met with what I felt was like an otherworldly entity, and I don't have my otherworldly entity, so it's that moment of like, this is not a world I can do much in, and it's just like flipped around, and then I had a moment, and now I'm just kind of like wide-eyed that I'm like, that's not, and I look at Ellie, that ain't something right. That's not.
Alice wants to take a closer look, unfortunately for me.
Oh,
I don't.
Go ahead and make a scrutinize check.
Can I move my lantern?
Yeah, you should be able to move all the lanterns.
Okay. I'll just move mine.
That's an 8.
Close.
You step up and you reach out with your rifle and tap it. Because I kept waiting for somebody to tell me what they were hitting it with.
Yeah.
You tap it a couple times with your rifle. You hold the light up by the face and look around. It's weird because this looks like a perfect carving. Like you've seen real Roman carving, like real Roman stuff, the stuff that's so real you have to look at it twice to make sure it's not human. And this is better than that. The veins are there. The tendons in the throat are there. You can tell from the way the throat's held, the scream, like the tension. You can see when somebody's screaming, right? You can see all the veins. It's either the best carving ever, or that's actually him. But he's got horns on.
But it's not moving, right?
No, oh no, it is absolutely, it's just pressing out of the rock. And you hear a voice in your head, not a mystical voice in any stretch of the imagination. It's probably your logical head looking for something to glom onto.
Yeah.
But you hear Dan Comfort say, alternate dimensions. I'm telling you, it's alternate dimensions. Tap, tap, tap with your rifle against this stone.
Yeah.
This perfectly carved stone that was.
Alice is
here
gonna
4
say.
days ago.
Alice gonna.
In this mine that wasn't here 4 days ago.
As much as I hate to say this, this reminds me of something that Dan said to me. He was going on and on about alternate dimensions.
I kind of look at Lucius. You know anything about that?
Would I know anything about that?
That's not really occult. This would be more science.
Yeah,
so if
that's what
if you've got a science background at all, then we'll give you a shot. But
I've got science chemistry.
I have a few science things.
But you've got, I mean, Miss Alice is a scientifically minded human being.
Yeah.
I don't need to. She doesn't need to have a degree in skeptic. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll wait because I'm sure Ellie and I have something to say.
Let's see. I know I have a few things in science, but nothing that I think would help.
Well, while these guys are muttering about this, go ahead.
Chemistry,
jump in, guys.
biology, geology, and no.
While they're sitting there talking about other dimensions, and I kind of like, I'm finally starting to get back, and I look at it a couple times, and I'm just like, okay, it's nothing. It's something, but, and I'm just like, I hear this, and I'm like, you mean like other planes of, like,
Could I do a knowledge roll? Because
do I know?
I'll get back to you in just a second, Sam. I got it.
Sorry.
You said something, and I will be back. But yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, when I go to sleep and I'm in, do I know what that is? Or do I know those places where I see Raven? Like, what do I understand that to be? Do I know? Or is
you
it
could
like...
very easily believe that that's what she's talking about when she's talking about other planes. I mean, it's other planes of existence, right? Literally.
Yeah.
This isn't like D&D where there's, we will go to the plane of fire. You don't know about these other planes, right? So everything out there is just kind of weird. But yeah, the word would certainly have connotations similar to what you've experienced.
And I'd straighten up and I'd be like, you're talking about other planes of beings. I've been to at least one other than here. Ellie.
Are you talking about Raven?
You saw it too, right? You were there.
Like what? You had a dream and...
I just kind of don't even look at her right now. I'm still trying to get on this train. Could she help with this? Would she know anything?
Miss Ellie, I don't get scared very easily, but one thing that does scare me is I can't feel her here. At all. And apparently everywhere else I can, but not here, not in this place. And I'm just
dead. It has something to do with the ghost rock in the air?
I don't know what it has to do with. That's a damn good guess, but something about this place ain't right. And I just look back over at Alan Campbell.
Lucius.
All I can
you
think
have geology.
Geology. Yes, I do.
So you're looking while they're talking. You know what this is. I mean, in your head, you know what this is. This is clear as day. But geologically speaking, this is wrong. This isn't how ghost rock forms. Ghost rock forms under extreme pressure. It's like gold. It forms deep, deep, deep in the ground. This isn't how it forms here. And without even thinking, you sort of take out one of your little throwing knives and you start digging at a little bit of the ore. It's too light and fluffy. It should be dense and heavy.
Because I would know a thing or two about ghost rock in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you know a thing or two about it. Yeah, I read your backstory, you bugger. So you know. You've seen it. I mean, you're probably, out of all these people, you're probably the only one that's seen raw ghost rock ore on a table before. And this isn't right. It's too light.
So I do tell them that.
It's definitely ghost rock.
It's not as dense, basically, is what I tell them. So.
So this is, so just to orient myself, when this thing goes into the mountain, right? Okay.
And Alan's coming out of the wall at you. And just quickly Yeah.
Oh, I know. I was just gonna say, based on how big the mountain is and where this goes, I have cartography. Would I be able to figure out how far into the mountain we are and how much of the mountain is left?
Yep.
Potentially.
Yeah, you can do that. You start muttering to yourself and doing just rough head math, right? I mean, you're trying to weigh a mountain in your head. Lucius, one more thing. That bit of the rock that he's coming out of, it's not ghost rock. That back wall that he's coming out of is pure obsidian.
Obsidian.
Melted rock in the form of glass. Miss Atlas. Math. If you're right, this mountain would burn for 1,000 years.
And that's based on how big it is.
And it's a mountain. It gets
the,
bigger the further it goes
Yeah.
down, right? So it's going to just make more and more and more smoke.
That would be. Do show that.
Yeah.
That would be.
Because you would see her going like.
That would be almost apocalyptic. That would.
And you look over and you can see these stalagmites, and they're a perfect example. They're burned down about that much. They were come to a point, and they're spreading out, and you can see that the more they burn down, the more smoke they're making.
Oh man, I want to pour water on one so bad and see what it looks like.
You have some experience of that when the train crashed into town, and
I know it's going to make more smoke, but
and Dan threw the steam on it. Ghost Rock steam smells just like Ghost Rock smoke, and seems to have the same effect on people. You guys are in a cave.
That would be, if you're saying this would burn for 1,000 years.
If this mountain is as solid as what you think it is, based on your geology, the two of you sort of put two and two together and come up with, oh shit.
Like, wouldn't that like just burn the whole world and cover it in smoke?
If this smoke is toxic,
this part of the world,
you would not want to be downwind of this mountain for a year, never mind 1,000 years.
I mean, is there another way to put out the fire other than water? I mean, with fire, you can cut off oxygen, you can cool it. Is there some other way that we could put it out other than creating steam?
Plug it.
Can I do a
She's
chemistry?
asking you because I ain't going to answer.
Can I do a chemistry?
You certainly can, yep.
That's an 11.
An 11. You take a quick look. You have to kind of cover your mouth and double up the hanky and step in a little closer. It doesn't appear to be self-oxygenating. So if you could cut off the air to this tunnel completely, of course, to do that, you'd have to close off this tunnel, and that means you can't tell if the fire inside is out or not. So there is that.
I'll share that. And then we've also got the problem of Mr. Campbell.
I could try medicine. I doubt that's going to help him.
What do you think would happen if we shattered the obsidian?
It's like glass. It could break, but...
Would that break the glass around him or break him is the question.
Right,
exactly.
That's what I'm...
Jett, you saw his eyes move.
I don't think that's Alan Campbell anymore.
What makes you say that?
And I just kind of like... I mean, literally the face is just like...
The horns.
Did you tell us that you saw his eyes
there's
move?
Smoke shooting out of its eyes. There's the
I mean, it's more just the
blowing out of that.
It's more just the implication of that don't look like But if there even was a semblance of Alan Campbell left, I don't think it still is.
Did you tell us that his eyes moved though?
No, I wouldn't have, because I would have just thought y'all would have seen it when y'all looked. I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Is there
I'm a-
such thing as a fate?
I'm gonna
Can I-
walk back up to him.
Yep. As you do, make a scrutinize check for me. And what was the question?
I was just wondering if science isn't going to work for me or occult, can I do a faith check?
I can save you the roll. It's not religious in any way.
Okay.
This appears to be your geology was your big, like,
The big
this is
one,
what
yeah.
this is.
Okay.
This was your big hit. Yeah.
Just going through all the knowledge, all the checks.
Miss Alice,
as I'm,
you
like,
step
looking
up to
at it-
Jett, and you're you're stepping up to it or Jett?
Oh, it. Sorry.
It. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you want me to do a guts too?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Ish. That's a 10.
Yeah. You see what this is? You step up, and with the smoke coming out of the eyes and the little burning centers and those fires over there, there is a reflection of light, and every once in a while this thing seems like it moves. That must have been what scared the boy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is there like a piece of
Not so much what you saw as your mindset. Like that's like you're
yeah.
looking for reasons why it scared him, right?
Yeah. But I saw how it could look like it could move.
Yep. And you saw him jump like it moved, right? So
Okay.
Is
All
there
right,
a,
I'm a poke it.
was your finger?
Well, with a finger that like with a handkerchief.
Yep.
Like
Tink, 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 tink. It's glass. It's obsidian.
could I try something?
Yep.
Could I just try to chip like a piece of cloth, like if he's wearing a hat, just try to
Yep.
chip a piece, see what
Take
happens.
Back of your knife and a piece snaps off. Tink, 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 on
Does
the
it
floor.
change or anything, or
Just a little chunk came out. He's missing a little piece of his hat. There's a
Is
little
it straight
crack.
obsidian or is there cloth in there?
No, it's
Yeah.
obsidian all the way through.
huh? Yep. I think he's all obsidian.
Way I see it, there is only one good way to make sure that everything's taken care of in here, but I think we might need a lot more dynamite.
I don't know about that.
And in that room off to your left, there's a stalactite hanging above a stalagmite, and the stalactite, the bottom of it lights on fire just from the radiant heat.
yeah, you don't want to
The smoke starts to climb up it and join that cloud in the roof.
see that, multiply that times like 1,000. If you try to blow this place up, you're gonna poison everybody downwind of this mountain.
I think we should try to block off the oxygen here. Even if we block it off for long enough and then wait, we can check, and by then it should have cut off the fire.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get why Miss Alice is saying that. I'm saying seal the tunnel off. What you're saying, I don't know a lot about that, but what you're saying is that if there's no air that can get in here, then it can't burn. So,
Yeah, but I'm saying dynamite isn't. I feel like dynamite is not the way you want to do that.
so you want to sit in here and chip at the walls until it seals in?
We don't want to risk of setting this whole place on fire.
Maybe a little ingenuity, Miss Alice.
Would
As
I
you guys
know?
are looking around having this conversation, your eyes sort of travel back down this long hallway you just came down,
Mhm.
and you see at the end that square of light of
Yeah.
outside. It's starting to get dark. Not
Um,
artificially. You realize you kind of, oh yeah, shit, it's like late afternoon.
Yeah. I have demolition knowledge. Would that?
You look around, yeah, it would be fairly simple, especially where you first came in, it would be fairly simple to drop the roof. Jett has already discovered how simple it is to drop the roof in this place. The
Yeah.
difficulty is not dropping it on yourself.
Right. Jett.
But yeah, especially this whole area where these fires are, that whole side, if you remember, that's the side that's open, that's been mined a lot. So there's all kinds of open space over there. So there's not many towers left. It wouldn't be difficult to bring some of them down.
I'll
You have to make a
share
demolition
that.
roll, and you're going to need a lot of explosives. But yeah, it would be doable for sure.
Yeah. I'll. Fine, I won't share it then. If you're gonna make that face.
I have a plan, and I'm not telling anyone. You're going to say that, you have to say it in Guy's voice, because that's exactly his plan. So I have a
Yeah.
plan, and I'm not telling anyone.
Yeah. No, I'll
Those of you
share
that don't
it,
know
and
what
I'll
that
say
means, tune in on Monday nights and on
I'll
Sunday
say
nights.
it would
Watch
have
these
to
people play.
be. It would have to be done just so, as to.
Yeah, demolition is a precision art form. It's about using just enough.
Yeah.
You would be using sections of pieces of dynamite.
Yes. I'll tell him how it would have to work. It would have to be perfect in order to bring this roof down without blowing up the rest of the mountain.
What it would mean is that someone with demolition skill would have to go through here and basically map it out and then figure out what pillars to take down in what order, like a controlled demolition of a building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take somebody at least a day to map this out and to get it set. Miss Alice, you're amazing. Maybe 6 hours.
Definitely not amazing. I just have a basic understanding, basically.
I know what it says on the sheet. I also know Miss Alice, and if you ask her, she'll tell you she's amazing.
Yes, of course.
At this, yes, and probably believe it. So,
so I'll kind of tell him what it would have to be, and I'm gonna say right now I feel like we don't really have that kind of time. It's getting dark. Strange things happen here during the day.
With the shriek of burning ghost rock coming out of this obsidian wall, out of the scream.
Man, I'm just uncomfortable leaving that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Feel bad to be in that kind of state.
Well, nobody's alive.
Was it trying to escape, or was it trying to come over here? Is what I'm wondering about.
If you blow it up, it don't matter.
It does appear to be coming out of the wall.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out if it was specifically trying to escape something on the other side, or if it was
that you cannot tell.
Trying to do something on
The only thing you know for sure that was on the other side of that wall. Yeah, you've been standing here long enough now. One of you, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me roll.
Oh, no.
Oh boy,
I'm worried. I was just thinking, we've been in here a while.
Yeah, I know.
Hailing this ghost rock. Something's gotta happen.
4. Okay. 4 is Miss Ellie. You're looking around during this conversation, and you keep looking over at Alan Campbell and looking around him at this obsidian, and it occurs to you that the obsidian, it's kind of like an inset in the wall. There's almost like a panel of obsidian in this ghost rock wall, but it's in exactly the outline of the engine of the train.
I'm gonna point that out to everybody, and
Tap, tap,
I'm gonna
tap, point, tap, tap, point.
That's peculiar.
Did anybody? Okay, so when we were in town with this explosion, the blacksmith, she had a contact bone on her hand.
That's a good
I mean, this has got to be related, right? I mean,
there's so much craziness that happens in the town. I have no idea.
Did y'all see anything when you were in town?
Well, I guess relay the information that me and Ellie found out, because I don't think you knew about that, did you?
Mm-mm.
About the flamethrower and
Baphomet and the chainsaw.
Yeah, she told Jett on the way up here, but Miss Alice still didn't know about that. Yeah. So yeah, somebody with a chainsaw and a flamethrower is what caused the explosion downtown.
A giant with a flamethrower.
A giant with metal
and
feet and a flamethrower and a chainsword.
I do
Yeah.
what now?
I'm going to inspect that part. The train
Yeah,
thing.
give me a scrutinize. Okay. You're sort of looking at it and tilting your head here and there, and without really thinking, you reach out and just like put your hand on it to lean closer to look, and your hand goes in about 2 inches. Just the
I
fingers
scream.
and thumb.
Ellie!
Oh yeah, you do, because
I
it
run
burns.
right.
Ellie!
And you don't even think, you just pull your hand back. The rest of you guys see. You ever do that thing in school where you put glue on your fingers
Yeah.
and you made like the second skin?
Yep.
Think somewhere between that and corn dogs.
Oh my god.
Each one of her fingers has got this white burning sausage of ghost rock on it as she pulls back and her hand starts to smoke. And that is where we will end
No.
tonight.
Kevin, no.
No.
Oh, I could see Hannah going to sleep, and I thought I got to keep her awake. I got to keep her awake for one more minute. So
You're going to burn
sausage
my
fingers
hand
for a
off?
week. What's that?
Ghost rock corn dogs are my favorite.
I bet they are. That does not surprise me one bit, Marty.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta try everything at least once. Anyway,
Explains so much.
whew. So yeah, we got all them there things, and coming up there, them special events. Don't forget about those. That's that Halloween event with old Kevin here. Gonna have Dingo Doodles on the Mercs of Mischief in a few weeks, and then of course, keep tuned for Clockwork coming back. But Kevin, what else you got before we say goodnight?
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff. I forgot at the start of the night. I was in such a rush to get into it. I didn't even introduce these fine people that just sat here beside me for the last hours and hours and did this with me. So I would like to do that now, quickly before she goes to sleep, because here in Canada, we just had an election and this poor lady had to follow it and try and be interested for most of the last 24 hours. Hannah, thank you for bringing Miss Allie tonight. I'm sorry I'm in the process of burning off your fingers.
Well, last time it was my legs. Now it's my hands.
appendages. I'm just working into the torso.
we're just gonna
Eventually, we're going to
move.
take you out. Yeah.
Ellie's got bad injury luck. It's all good.
At the far end, in the hat, the man in the hat with the hair, who is spending his spare time when he's not here scaring the crap out of people that have paid him to do so.
I'm good at it.
Lessamax, also Canadian, also just went through an election that nobody cared about. So there we go. Thank you to Lessamax. On the bottom row, but never on the bottom shelf. I almost said that. I knew I had to throw myself off a building because she'd come and killed me. Sarah playing Miss Alice. You get the wonderful, joyous fun of playing with Miss Dingo Doodle. And I'm trying to figure, I'm going to start a pool as to how long it is before you walk up and try and touch, because you want the curse. So we'll see how that goes.
Hey, you better. Well, okay, all right.
Yeah, see, I'm just saying. And then also on the far end, our newly married, most recent member. There he is. Look at that smile. Noctum Sky playing Jett for us this evening. The man who apparently I love to abuse. I just can't help myself. I do it in our other game as a player. I do it in this game as the narrator. I can't help it. This is why you have to do table flip. It'll be your chance to get back at me. Aha. We have a plan. Speaking of which, one of these days we'll do table flip, where we take one of our players who has never GM before and we put them behind the screen. And then a bunch of us who have GM before are the players, and we do what we can to make you explode for 3 hours. It's good fun. Jonathan actually invented a third character. He actually has Lenny and our good friend Marty, and another one that we made when we broke him during his version of Table Flip. So, and with that,
Wait, who was that? Wait, hold on. What?
No.
You got a week to come up with a new character. I just forced one on you. Sorry. Thank you to our producer, by the way, the man behind the scenes. He does all our voices, he does our sound effects. And with that, I will stop talking. Thank you to all these people. Check out us on YouTube, on all the medias. We're Mercs of Mischief everywhere. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we live stream now. Every second Thursday, we live stream. So keep checking us out. Thank all of you for joining us, all of you for watching. And until next week, I'll shoot you then. Good night.
Give it up for the Polypegasises. Pegasus is Pegasus, I pronounce it how you please. Everyone sings of unicorns, but never Pegasus. Flying freely from the Alps onto the Pyrenees. Pega, 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 Pegasus. Pega, 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 Pegasus.